Today, as you may be aware of, the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Canada is compiling the history of sickle cell disease in her country. Here with me are two individuals who may well represent the earliest diagnosed cases of sickle cell disease in Canada. Mr. Sherman Moore, who was diagnosed in 1967, and Miss Doreen Salmon in 1968. Join me to showcase Mr. Sherman Moore and Miss Doreen Salmon. Thank you. You were born in Jamaica.
In 1939.
So you were born in Jamaica in 1939. When did you migrate to England?
In 1965.
So while in Jamaica, you didn't know you have sickle cell?
No one knew. No one knew what I'm suffering from, these pains that they accused me of. And they said something.
So, wow. So it was only when you got to England that you were diagnosed. How did you get diagnosed in England?
I went to my husband in England. Well, we were playing hanky-panky. And then I got pregnant. That time everybody have to have a family doctor. My husband was there before me, so he had one. So he took me to his family doctor, which was a wife and husband. I saw the wife and saw the husband. And there she told me that I was 4 weeks pregnant. 4 weeks pregnant. So immediately after I went there in 1964, I was giving birth to a baby in 1965. But before that, she asked me if I know that something is wrong with me, wrong with my blood. I said, what's wrong with my blood? She said, when you were a kid, you never used to feel pain and things. I said, then does everybody? Well, she said, I have something to tell you. There's something wrong with your blood, and it's called sickle cell disease. Sickle who? Sickle what? You never hear about that? No, never in my life.
And that was in 1964?
65.
1965, when that was in England?
Yes.
Wow.
And she explained to me, and she said, you know what? There's one hospital here that does care and what do you call it now? Information of sickle cell disease. So I'm going to send you there. So I went to this hospital that she sent me, hoping to have my baby there. And they show me pictures on the wall, like big pictures of it, like a theater here. I mean, that they had it in the hospital. And they explained to me and showed me the different stages of the disease and how they were deformed and stuff like that, and explained to me why they are deformed. And then they let me know that there was only black people from Jamaica have it.
So you had that experience in England, and in 1968 you migrated to Canada here, and it was just because you were working at the General Hospital that made them discover that you had sickle cell disease.
Yes.
What would you like to see done differently in terms of care and treatment? What would you like to see?
Well, if they're taking in black people, as they call it, colored, and they used to call it that, do some more research in, I don't even know if they have it in if they have the doctors. Well, I guess they have the doctors, because my doctor knew about it from Liverpool in England, where he studied. And he's a black guy.
So you like to see more research being done on sickle cell. And you also mentioned to me earlier about the emergency room, when you go to the emergency room.
You have to sign in and you sit there and you wait until the people before you go in.
You were saying that you like to see improvement
a little faster.
Okay. Ms. Doreen, if I may ask you, What is your date of birth?
The 3rd of July, 1939.
1939. So that makes you 77 years old as at today. Thank you again for the interview. You have two siblings still living with sickle cell disease. Can you tell us about how old they are and what do you think is responsible for three siblings living well in their 60s with sickle cell disease?
That's a very good question, and the second part of your question,
Yeah.
but I'll handle the first part first. Yes, there's two sisters, happen to be a younger sister, Shirley Moore,
Yes.
who was born on March 8th, 1953. That would make her 63 years old now.
Mm-hmm.
And an older sister, Monica Sims, born Monica Moore, of course, on December 26, 1947. That would make her currently 67 years old, going on 60 in December. As to what has contributed to us still being here in our 60s with sickle cell disease, what I've learned about sickle cell in my experience with it, it's a very individual kind of thing. It affects each of us in its own unique ways, even among my family. But I think there are other things at play with the chemistry and the genetic makeup of our bodies that interact with sickle cell, I believe, that determine if we will die young from it or survive into middle age or beyond with it. What it is, I cannot explain. I think it's the man above that decides that.
And you know, I have listened to yourself and to Monica and to Shirley. I also think that the three of you are you are very good in managing stress, and that could also help in also ensuring that you keep well. So I mean, thank you so much. Another question that I have is around care and treatment. Comparing to the 60s where you were get diagnosed with sickle cell and today, what do you see as different? And how do you think things have improved? And how can we even further improve care and treatment?
Well, that's a good question. If we look at the treatment side of it first, I recall in 1967 at the Toronto General Hospital being hooked up to intravenous fluids, pain medication, and oxygen. And I recall the last time I was in the hospital with sickle cell crisis, last May 2015, I was hooked up to intravenous fluids, oxygen, and given opioid pain medication.
Same treatment.
So basically, in hospital treatment, I guess for non-complicated sickle cell crisis, to me seems to be the same.
Okay.
I suppose if there are complications, then whatever the complications present is dealt with it in the appropriate way at that time. In terms of care, back in 1967, of course, with me, it was just discovered that I had sickle cell disease. I was 17 years old. In terms of care and follow-up care, I saw the hematologist maybe once every 5 years or so, and said my spleen was enlarged, but no need to remove it and that sort of stuff. As I got older and, more and more problems or complications developed, and I sought out better care. I ended up at the Red Blood Cells Disorder Clinic at Toronto General Hospital, and there I find there's a huge difference between the follow-up and sort of preventative care then than there certainly would have been in 1967. Been referred to cardiologists, have regular bone marrow tests, not bone marrow, bone density tests, and do the echoes of the
comprehensive
heart,
care,
all that sort of of stuff. The more in the preventative way to try to uncover or spot potential complications from sickle cell and deal with them before they become major issues, or you suddenly drop dead and from a complication and they don't know why until afterwards. So from that aspect of it, the cure aspect, I'd say yes, quite a big difference between now and the early days when I was dealing with sickle cell.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Mr. Sherman. Really, really appreciate your time. And it's so amazing and that we can have your story, as part of the Canadian sickle cell disease story. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Lanre Tunji Ajayi from the Sickle Cell Disease Association of Canada. There are different notions about sickle cell disease around the world. One of such notions is that once a patient reaches age 21, they would be spared from the complications of sickle cell disease, especially premature death. While this is a misconception, it is to be noted that patients are living longer with sickle cell disease. This, we may say, is due to the work of the patient associations, healthcare providers, and the industry. We have improved education around self-management. We have advanced care and treatment, and a lot of research into sickle cell disease. As such, I am pleased to showcase possibly the oldest living Canadian with sickle cell disease, Madam Symbol Randall. She lives in Burlington, Ontario, and she is 87 years old. Thank you.
My name is Sybil Randall. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica in July 1930. I will be 87 years old in 18th of July 2017. Then I was diagnosed when I was going on a vacation to England, and then I took a flight from Jamaica to New York, and then I was going to take the ship, Queen Mary, to go to England. But then when I got to America, I got sick on the plane rather, severe pain in my spleen. And my friends that I was staying with, they called their doctor, and when she came, she was a German doctor actually. She diagnosed, she says, you have to go to the hospital right away. It's, the blood has, what did they call it now? And then when they took me to the hospital in New York, they diagnosed that it was this sickle cell crisis that I was in.
Are you SS or SC?
SC.
Okay, SC. There are different challenges associated with sickle cell disease, complications, health challenges. Could you tell us briefly a few of the challenges that you are faced with sickle cell disease, including your family?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, my first son, He passed away 1968. The first day of his holiday from school, you know, they go on vacation, and he just went to sleep and woke up during the night, and when I rushed to his room, he was in his last breathing, you know. I put my hand on his heart and just felt the last breath that he breathed. And when the autopsy was done, they said he had died from a brain aneurysm. I had a daughter. She was 3 years old, and she passed away also.
So three of your children have sickle cell and one
Yeah,
doesn't have sickle cell.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. So people are going to ask the question, what do you do to live so long? What can we say?
What can I say? I try to eat well. I exercise. Like I for years I've been to Tai Chi classes,
Okay.
and I walk every day because I have a dog, so I have to go out 2-3 times a day with my
That's
dog.
good.
So I keep active, I would say. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's super. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so honored to meet you. Honestly, this is just amazing.